Welcome to I'm Too Busy, an interview-based show hosted by a talented makeup artist, Christina Flach. Christina offers viewers a unique blend of personal stories, inspiring journeys, and practical beauty tips. Join the conversation as Christina features successful individuals from various industries who share their insights on health, wellness, makeup, and the keys to their success. So now, please welcome the host of I'm Too Busy, Christina Flach.
Hi, welcome to I'm Too Busy. I'm Christina Flach. How are you today? I am so excited to introduce you to my friend Eve Richards. She is a British-born powerhouse based in Beverly Hills, whose journey spans continents and industries. She's been raised between Africa, Boston, and Manhattan. She's carved out a remarkable career as an actress, model, producer, podcast host, and influential voice for change. With over 30 independent films to her credit, Eve recently launched the Discovery Pod following her father's passing in 2023. In 2025, she'll be hosting Top Influencer TV and starring in several high-profile projects, including A Line of Fire alongside Cuba Gooding Jr. Her commitment to philanthropy and advocacy work continues to inspire global audiences. Please welcome my friend Eve.
Thank you so much for having me, Christina. It's so wonderful to be here, and it's so
Well,
great to see you.
oh, thank you so much. I know you've been traveling all over and you're so busy, and I'm so incredibly grateful that you're here today. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Well, thank you for having me, first of all, and you look fantastic. I know you're busy as
No,
well.
you do. I have to match your beautifulness. So I'm wearing your pink, your favorite color.
I love pink. I wish I was
I know
home.
you do.
I would have worn
You'd be
pink, but you look fantastic.
I was sure that you'd be in pink today.
I actually had pink, but again, I was traveling, not the best color, and I decided to wear black. So, but you
Well,
look
you look
fantastic.
gorgeous. Well, thank you. You look amazing. So, how did growing up between Africa, Boston, and Manhattan shape your worldview of life?
That's a great question. Fundamentally, I was raised by two parents who were very, very smart. My mother was a judge. I was born in London. I think it's made me a better person in terms of traveling around the world, living in different cultures. I don't take anything for granted. My father was very, very strict. I have a younger brother, and he would say the same. My dad never wanted us to think life was easy. So, having the opportunity to live in different parts of the world, I think has just made me a much better person. I appreciate every aspect of where I am in my life, whoever I meet. And I think those are the values that I seem to have carried away from living in different places.
Yeah, I think that's very true. I mean, it's such a gift to having had all that travel in your life. It changes you and exposes you to so many amazing things. How do you think that, the influence of your mother's career as a judge has changed your path or your view on things?
When I was younger, I did not appreciate what my father and my mom did, specifically my mother, because I always looked at her as my mom. Unfortunately, my mom passed away when she was about 52, 53. She was very young. She was attending a conference in London and she died. Looking back, I now appreciate what she was teaching myself and my brother. She was someone who was very, very educated, but very, very simple. You would never have known she was a judge. She did not have just, she was just very approachable. And I think one of the things my mom always said to me in life as a woman, never, ever, ever put yourself in a position where a guy has to take care of you. Those were some of the lessons that I don't have kids, but I take with me. Always believing in my own ability to go out, challenge myself, never take anything for granted. Even if you get married, no guy is gonna want to take care of you because my mom always said, you're only gonna be young for this infinite period. As you start getting older, the guy might want to move to somebody younger. So I think those are the lessons that I carry with me for, I'm going to carry them with me till I leave this earth.
You're so funny. When did you realize that you wanted to pursue a career in entertainment?
When I was young, my parents were both lawyers and wanted me to pursue a career in law. And I thought that's what I would do. But I didn't really have a lot of friends growing up because by the time my brother was born, there was a huge age gap. I was studying a lot and I always wanted to escape into my fantasy world. And I did a lot of reading when I was a child. I used to love reading. And so acting became that fantasy, the imagination where I felt like I could imagine and think about a different life. I did not want to do law. And I just imagined myself being on screen and fantasizing about, the thought of bringing a story to life. And that's how it started. In high school, I started taking a lot of plays. But after college, I worked for American Express, worked for Macy's, and then went back to acting about 10, 15 years ago.
Wow. And how has your international background, do you think, influenced your approach to storytelling?
I think it's important because we're telling stories of human beings, right? So I think having had the opportunity to live in different parts of the world, it's given me an opportunity to connect with different cultures, like in Fiji. And I look at people in Fiji, it's such a beautiful place, but there's a lot of poverty in Fiji. That's one place that I love to visit on a regular basis. Not so much to visit and vacation, but the little that I can do, taking clothes and books that I can give to the locals. So all of those opportunities have made me a better actor, a better performer, in the sense that I'm looking at it from a different perspective, from a different lens, and looking at it from folks who are living in Fiji. And I wonder if they had an opportunity to move here to the States, how would it look like? So I think it's definitely helped me as a storyteller.
That's amazing. What attracted you to independent film specifically?
Acting is very, very difficult. It's difficult to get into, to navigate the industry. And I was just very fortunate to have connected myself and networked with a lot of producers who focus on independence. But subsequently, I want to do something that's more studio. I think that's where I am in my career, that I've done the independence. So now it's time to do something bigger. And I'm working on a few things as well that I hope would take me to the next level. So you got to start somewhere, and that's where I started.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's all these different experiences that make us better at our craft. Tell me about your role in A Line of Fire. What drew you to this project?
So I don't know how much I can say because it's supposed to be coming out in a few months and we're going to start
Okay.
promoting. But it was produced by David A. White, and he's actually the lead actor. It stars Cuba Gooding Jr., Jason Patrick, Katrina Bowman, uh, Scott Baio. There's quite a few. My role was very complex, very different from what I've done in the past. The role was actually written for a man, and actually
Oh,
my
wow.
it was my peer manager Roger was the one who was like, Eve, I think you should read for this role. That's how it all started, and so the producer and director actually liked the idea of flipping it into a woman and having me, and he liked the idea of having me. So he was very open. He was very collaborative in terms of the ideas that I had for the character. But it's an interesting one. All I can say, she's a born killer with a Cuban father who was an ambassador. So I think it's
Oh
fun
my
with
God, how fun. It sounds very fun. And is it going to be in theaters or is it going to be streaming or?
it's going to be theaters. It's going to be streaming as well. It's supposed to be. So I think it's supposed to release in April, but then he's not sure. It might get distributed by Lionsgate. If it gets distributed by Lionsgate, then it would have a wider international box office. So, what? But it's going to be in theaters for sure. But it's going to be
Oh,
interesting. I
that's
think
exciting. Lionsgate is huge. I mean, that's a big deal. That's really
it is.
exciting.
It's exciting.
How does Echoes of Dreams reflect your personal journey?
Last year, I was sitting in my house, still grieving losing my father. And I wanted to write about my story. And I really wanted to write about the journey I went through. Losing my father, I mean, it's been over a year, but it's something that I still talk about today. The, ex-
Hmm.
the grieving process, and it wasn't just about losing my father, but it was looking back after my mom passed, how my relationship with my father changed because he met someone, which was fine. I wanted my father to be happy. But after meeting this woman, it's like she did not want me to have a relationship with my dad. So Echoes of Dream, it's loosely based on my life, the grief, and the
Hmm.
experiences I went through, how I evolved from that into who I am today.
And how have you come to a place where you feel at peace with that, with the grieving of your father? Because I know, having lost my mother, my son, and my husband, and two of my best friends. Yeah, I don't know if we've ever talked about that, but
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
I am
So,
sorry. Wow.
oh, no, I didn't. I'm not trying to turn this in about me, but
No,
I
I
just
know,
wanted
but
to like,
I am so
y-
sorry to hear this. Oh my God.
but I do know that I've learned that grieving, it's not one of those things, people are like, oh, you don't get over it. You just kind of learn to manage it. So, do you feel that have you gotten to a place where you feel like it's manageable?
I think again, I'm so sorry to hear about your son. Oh my goodness, we didn't even talk about this on the podcast. But
Well, I'm going to have
I
to come back on.
you have to seriously, grieving never goes away. I live alone
No.
in LA, and it's I've always lived alone. I've been independent. My parents told me I was in a boarding school from the time I was 10. They didn't like that about me. But after losing my father, it was challenging to be alone in my place. I'm now in a
Right.
better, I would have never expected me to start a podcast. It's not something that I ever thought I would do. But because when my father passed away, I didn't get to see him in person to say goodbye. He didn't know he was dying. This
Hmm.
woman that he was dating or whatever she was to him did not see my dad in the hospital. So those were the things that made it so difficult. My heart was bleeding for my father. But subsequently, starting the podcast, hearing from different entrepreneurs like you, sharing your journeys, it's given me I'm in a better place because I'm on a journey to learn, to educate
Hmm.
myself. And that's what the podcast has done. The podcast for me was a legacy to my father. I wanted to honor his memories, and that's why I started. And in the process, I am on a journey to learn. I'm always learning. I think as an actor, it's about learning, and I'm able to learn, and it's about gaining wisdom, and that's what the podcast has done. So that has helped me in terms of putting me in a much better place, in a much better space. But it's constantly evolving.
It really is. Could you tell me a little bit about filming Dinner for Two in Sweden? What was that like?
So actually, it's we haven't started filming yet. The director, we're supposed to film last year, and the director got injured, and he
Mm.
was actually sick for 6 months. His name is Gabriel. Luckily, he's back. So we're still going through rehearsals, and hopefully we'll film at the end of the year. But I'm not sure because right now the focus is on him. He needs to get better.
Oh my gosh, that's so sad. We're going to take our first commercial break and we will be right back with Eve Richards. I'm Christina Flach and I'm too busy.
Mike Zorek, a three-time California state champion in Greco-Roman wrestling at 114 pounds. Mike, blind since birth, was born in Hartford, Connecticut. He was a six-time national placer, including 2 seconds, 2/3, and 2/4. He also won the Veterans Folk-Style Wrestling twice at 152 pounds. In all these tournaments, he was the only blind competitor. Nancy Zorek, a creative spirit whose talents have taken her to the stage and into galleries and exhibitions in several states. Her father, a commercial artist who shared his instruments with his daughter and helped her fine-tune her natural abilities, influenced her decision to follow in his footsteps. Ms. Zorek has enjoyed a fruitful career doing what she loves. Listen Saturday mornings at 12 Eastern for the Nancy and Mike Show for heartwarming stories and interesting talk on the BBM Global Network.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Welcome back to I'm Too Busy. We are chatting with my friend Eve Richards. So, having just started my show as well this past year, how terrified were you the first day?
When I go back
Or
to
were
the first,
you?
I was, of course, I was. I look at the first interview that I did, and luckily it was with someone that I knew.
I did
Brand
the
Fair,
exact same thing. I
yes,
need to be comfortable. I had to do one of my girlfriends.
but he was a critic because it's someone that I know, and he worked. Used to be a president of one of the divisions at Walt Disney, and he's like a mentor. So I figured, come on to the studio, and you'd be the first guest. He was actually very nice, but I was the nerves, like, oh my gosh, can I do this? Like, I'm not sure, but it was good. It was great. It was good.
How do you choose your guests? Do
Good
people
question.
write in like my assistant did for you, or?
I thought it was fantastic that she did for you, and I'm so glad she connected because I'm like,
I
oh my
am
goodness,
too,
we have to have lunch or dinner
for
when I'm up
sure.
in the Bay Area. So I've had over the years, I've gotten to know quite a few people. So I have had some friends, and then Roger, who is my PR manager, and he co-produces the show with me. He's got a network of folks as well. So he would run them by me. Hey, Eve, what about this person? Do you want this person on the show? And luckily, I've also had some fantastic guests who are referred to me by friends.
Oh, that's the best. What's been the most surprising conversation that you've had on the show so far?
Wow. I like the one we had with you because I think it's so topical, and it's going to air February 20th. Topical, and it was great because for me, it's all about beauty. It's award season coming up. So I just figured that for me was fun learning about. I mean, I love skincare, and as a person ages, there are tips that you shared that I thought would be beneficial to a lot of different women out in the world, or men. And I think yours was also very inspiring to see how busy you are, but you're constantly challenging yourself and taking on new projects. I was like, how is she? I mean, between the skincare and your makeup line, it's incredible. So um, that was a good one. There's been so many. Oh, there's one with Thaao Penghlis, who has been an actor on Days of Our Lives for 43 years. I was fascinated by his background. He came from Australia to the States at 21 with, I don't know, $80, But somehow there were two things. He had resilience and he had the passion to become an actor. And he knew that connecting with the right individuals will help elevate his career. He was working at an art gallery, and Jacqueline Kennedy, the late First Lady, walked
Oh my
in.
gosh.
That changed his life forever. That's a story that I would never
That's
forget.
a good story. So
Yeah.
what did she do?
She came into the gallery. Here he was. His boss was mean, like a horrible person. And his boss was out to lunch when Jacqueline Kennedy came. Thaao Penghlis loves to cook. He has a book, and he had made some shortbread. So he had tea and shortbread with Jacqueline Kennedy. There was a painting that she liked, and she went away without purchasing, but called back and purchased that. And so his life changed forever.
Wow, that's a good story.
Yeah.
I
So it's
actually used to write for Soap Opera Digest. So
wow.
for like 10 years, I would write for their, I was kind of a celebrity basher. And my kids used to always tease me. They're like, because I would drive them to school like in a baseball hat, Uggs, and like a bathrobe. And they're like, you have a lot of nerve bashing anyone when you look like you look.
Oh my God. You are amazing. I mean, you're wonderful. I don't know what they're talking about, but oh my
Oh
gosh.
yeah, but they don't. I'm their mom, and they just would see me. They're like, "Oh my God, you have a lot of nerve criticizing anyone's clothes when you dress like that."
You
But
look amazing. I'm serious. When your assistant sent your picture, I'm like, the show, I was only supposed to do so many episodes, and said to Rod, I'm like, no, we gotta have Christina. I'm like, I don't care.
oh, that was so nice.
Roger was like, Eve, okay, it's your show. I'm like, no, I want to have Christina because I just read your story and I just connected with your journey and just how passionate and all
Oh,
the very things that you're doing. I thought it was fantastic.
well, thank you so much. So tell me a little bit more about some of the guests that you've had on.
So
Are there
we've
any
had,
that come to mind as really inspiring, or just like has anyone
yes,
revealed any secrets that are like, oh my God, I can't believe you just told me that?
all of the guests have been inspiring. So Kate Linder, who is on The Young and Restless, she's been on
Yes.
Restless for 40 something years as well, right? Her journey is just incredible. So, what I really liked is she worked as a flight attendant when she got the job. Even today, 40 something years later, she still works as a flight attendant for United. And it's funny, on the
What?
day, yes, on the day that we taped her show, taped the episode, I was flying to London and it was back in November. And just to hear that story that she doesn't have to do it, but she wants to because it keeps her grounded. That for me was so inspiring to
Wow.
yeah.
That is
And then
remarkable.
oh yes, and then Sean Kanan, who is an actor, he's been on Bold and Beautiful. He was on General Hospital. He played AJ Quartermain for so
Oh
many
yeah.
years. The bad boy. He was on Karate Kid. He's on Cobra Kai. His journey is incredible. Sean, he's open that he was an alcoholic. Growing up on TV as a young person, he became an alcoholic, but his wife saved him. And
Wow.
his life turned around in 2020. And those stories for me make me a better person because one of the things that people always say is we see you on the red carpet, you look fantastic, but they never know what goes on behind the scenes. And the fact that Sean came and shared his journey, I thought was fantastic.
That's true. And it's just like what you just mentioned. People, see what you're showing them. They don't see what we look like in our baseball hat and Uggs,
Oh yeah, you're
right?
right. Even
There's so
when
much more to you and, your guests than meets the eye. I mean, in people in general, it's just not so simple as people get so judgmental and look at others and just go, oh, they just make these assumptions
oh
about
yeah,
people's lives that are most of the time so inaccurate. Did you
of
read The
course.
Four Agreements? Did you ever read that book?
I did not. No, I've got to
I'm going
check
to
that
send
out.
it to you. It's a great book. But what's so
Thank
interesting,
you.
one of the four agreements is don't make assumptions because
You're right.
they're not real.
That's so true. I mean, I I'm like any human being out there. There are days when I have great days. There are days when I don't have good days. But I'm not going to show people the days that I'm like going through struggles because, we're
Right.
human beings. So we go through the ups and downs. That's just the world we live in. So,
Exactly. So, what can viewers expect from your new show? And what was working with Cuba Gooding Jr. like? Because he looks like he's so much fun.
David A. White is the lead actor in the role, and Cuba Gooding Jr. is in it. And it's one of those things where I did my scenes, but I didn't do them with Cuba Gooding Jr.
Hmm.
So my character is a very interesting character because even though she was not in scenes, but her voice is, you could hear her giving in.
Oh,
It's a
right.
very weird thing where she's not in all of the scenes, but then she's the one who's pretty much driving a lot of the different. So it's complex. So it'll be interesting. But I've never met him.
How do you plan to explore the influencer landscape differently than perhaps you have in the past?
The one thing I can say, and it's funny you say this because I'm hosting a show called Top One Influencers. People consider me an influencer. I am just being my authentic self. The one thing that people always say to me is, how do I become an influencer? Just be your authentic self. I think people see that. And I'm my authentic self, whether you like me or not. Not everyone is going to gravitate towards the type of content I post. Some people would like it, and some you cannot please everybody. And I'm learning that the hard way because I used to be very critical of myself. But I think for me, my goal is to inspire. I had challenges in my life after I lost my father. I opened up to the world, not because I wanted empathy, but I was going through a lot. The grieving process was hard, not just because I lost my father, but there was a lot of pain from a lot of years that had spent when this person came into our lives and our family got disrupted, and it happens. And I was looking back at all of those years, the lost years that went by, a lot of anger. And you can never turn back the clock, but I wanted to share my experiences, what I learned from my mom and my father. My mother was very, very smart. My father was very, very smart. But they both made mistakes when they divorced each other. They never should have divorced. They were focused on careers. And so I'm sharing my journey as an influencer to influence others, to inspire. It's all about
Inspire.
resilience.
That was the word I was going to say.
Yes. And so that for me is what I aspire to do is how can I inspire others globally. And I'm inspiring folks by sharing content that I think would is inspirational. And then the show, Top One Influencers, is about delving into the lives of those influencers. How do you become an influencer and how do you stay on top of the game?
Going back to what you mentioned earlier about how you were really hard on yourself and a friend of mine, my best friend said to me once, because I used to do the exact same, I would beat the hell out of myself. And she said, you would never treat anyone on the planet the way you're beating the hell out of yourself. Why are you doing that? And so it really got me thinking, like, why am I being so mean to myself when I would never do that to another person? So it's the same with you. You would never be cruel as harsh on anyone as you are on yourself.
I am
And
hard
how
on
did you
myself.
stop and how do you manage that to not be so harsh on yourself or try to be kinder to yourself?
It's hard because I think I'll share a story. My father loved me a lot, and my mom always used to say, "Eve, you're my dad's your dad." And, my dad is like I'm his favorite, but my dad was also very, very critical. because he wanted me to excel. He wanted me to be, I don't know, whatever, but he wanted me to excel. And I think growing up in that environment where my mom was the type who always gave accolades to myself and my brother. Oh, Eve, I'm so proud of you. My dad never wanted to give me accolades, that he was proud of me, right? And I think because of that, I've always had this, that I've got to push myself even harder, because one of the things people don't know is I have a lot of insecurities. It's the truth. I may come across on social media like someone who's confident, but I have a lot of insecurities. And it's a constant, I'm constantly working on myself, on exercising, meditation. Those are the things that sort of help keep me mentally zen. If I eat
Hmm.
clean, I eat healthy, and I'm exercising, then that helps keep me mentally zen and balanced.
I totally agree. Do you do you find that when you're traveling, it's harder to stay on your program of eating clean and exercising, or are you like super disciplined? Because when I travel, I find it actually a little not harder or easier. It's just I just try and stay with my program because I feel like all I have to do, I don't have to, there's no kids here, there's no house to clean, there's nothing to do, there's no dog. My boyfriend isn't here. I've got, nothing to that I really need to do. So all I really need to do is exercise, sleep, and eat properly to work. So I think, do you find that hard? Do you find it challenging, or is it easy for you to just stay on your clean eating and exercising program?
I have to stay on my clean eating and exercising, because once I go off course, then
Yeah,
it's like
it's the end of the world.
end
I'm the
of the
same.
world. And I know this, so I'm like, I gotta stay, because again, as I get older, I, I gotta eat clean. I want to eat healthy, not because I want to, because I like waking up feeling, totally energized. And
I agree.
exercise for me makes me feel so great. And there's no excuse. When I'm traveling, you're staying at hotels, they have gyms. So I'll take even 45 minutes to exercise. And because again, I look at staying mentally zen. I'm always usually very calm, and those are the things that I use to help me. So I try not to make excuses because I'm in a different part of the world. I try to make time to exercise.
What kind of exercise do you like to do? Like when
I
you're
love
home, let's say.
I love yoga. I do a lot of cardio, and I do light weights as well. I'm not a
Hmm.
skinny person, but exercise, I have to say, is something that has helped me tremendously. When I lost my mom, the one thing that kept me mentally zen was exercise. So I cannot live without exercise.
Yeah, I'm the same. It's just it makes everything easier. And I agree. I like feeling good, and there's no way you can if you're not eating well and getting enough exercise and sleep. We're going to take another commercial break and be back with Eve Richards. I'm Christina Flach, and I'm too busy.
Dr. RC will share extraordinary resources and services that promote educational success, as well as making a difference in the lives of all social workers, as well as the lives of children, adolescents, and teens of today. She will have open discussions addressing many of the issues that we face about our youth, and how being employed in the uniquely skilled profession of social work for over 18 years has taught invaluable lessons through her personal experiences. She will also provide real-life facts, examples, and personal stories that will confirm that why serving as a child advocate is extremely beneficial when addressing the needs of the whole child. Listen live to Dare to Soar, Saturdays, 10 a.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network, and tune in radio as Dr. RC will provide thought-provoking information that will empower, encourage, and strengthen students, families, and communities across our nation. You can also visit her at soarwithkatie.com. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness: Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Welcome back to I'm Too Busy, and we are chatting with Eve Richards. So tell me about your work with Dress for Success and Mommy's Heart Foundation.
So, Dress for Success is something that I did. I used to live in San Francisco, and I don't even know how I found out about Dress for Success, but it's an organization that I'm so passionate about, giving back to the community. You know, the mission of Dress for Success is to empower women by providing a network of support and tools to help women thrive in life and in work. So, I worked there as a stylist. It was the best thing that I felt like happened to me, having those women from different, economic backgrounds come into this organization, helping them get ready for interviews and seeing the transformation from when they walked in and seeing them in business suits. Some of those clients I keep in touch with because they changed my life and they made me a better person. And that for me was a great way to give back, to um, keep in touch and mentor some of these women, help with resume writing. So Dress for Success is such a great organization. They don't have one in LA. I would still love to be involved with the organization, but I haven't found one similar to that in the LA area. Mommies for Heart, I just recently, so I haven't really done much work for them yet. So I'm looking forward to the partnership. I was selected to be on the advisory, the work that they're doing, and looking forward to partnering with them on some initiatives.
How do you choose which causes to support and to get involved with?
I like a lot of causes to me, like Dress for Success, helping women. And I seem to gravitate towards those types of organizations because I feel like my story is all about trying to empower young women, women of different ages as well. So I felt like that symbiotic relationship between me and Dress for Success was just perfect. Mom is for Heart as another organization as well, helping kids. I am passionate about helping kids as well. I am very lucky that I had a very great upbringing, but there's so many kids out there who are not able to go to school. They don't have books. And one of the things that Mommy's Heart Foundation did last December, they had a toy drive, and that was something that I thought was so wonderful. A toy drive where it was in New York City, and I wasn't able to go to New York. But one of these days, I'm hoping to go to New York and attend one of their events. But I was able to help them in terms of promoting the event on my various social media channels as well.
I love that. What do you think drives your passion for global humanitarian work?
Coming from living in different parts of the world and having experienced uh, the world from a different lens, I feel that there's a lot more to in terms of my message and than just here in the States. I like the idea of sharing my story with the global audience. At the end of the day, when you think about it, what separates us, right? We're all human beings in the world, and we all have common themes, and the common themes could be love, it could be fear, it could be betrayal. So there are certain things that I think that sort of connect everyone in the world, regardless of whether you're in China or you're in LA or in San Francisco, wherever, New York City. And I
Hmm.
look for opportunities where sharing stories that I think would gravitate towards anyone in any part of the world.
How do you think you use your platform to create meaningful change?
That's a good question. I try to use my platform, and I hope I'm using my platform to educate, to bring awareness to things that I, as Eve, am passionate about. It's not about educating folks per se, but more so an awareness. I specifically speak to the things that I feel that I could help change rather than um, choosing topics that I don't know about. So I think I'm using my platform to inspire hope, kindness. Those are the things that I could share because at the end of the day, I think about why am I sharing this content? What is the value when someone comes to my social media page? What are they going to get out of it? And I would hope that by someone reading my content, they would learn something. Or if someone is having a bad day and you don't have anyone to talk to, maybe reading my message can give you that motivation to push yourself. That is my hope, and that's what I aim to do when I post.
That's a beautiful thing. Tell
Thank
me
you.
about your upcoming book that was inspired by your mom.
I so I have this guy who is my manager, Tony Marinozzi. I was traveling to London and he called me actually while I was flying. He texted me on WhatsApp and we're going back and forth during the trip. He was like, Eve, I have a great idea. I'm like, what is it, Tony? He has all these crazy ideas. He was like, I think you should. I'm serious. It was like Tony. It was like I just spoke to him a few minutes ago. I was like, he was like, I think you should write a book. I'm like, no, I don't think I should write a book. There's nothing exciting. He was like, Eve, but when you think about your lives and you think about your parents, you think of the fact that my mother died alone in London. My father died alone. They were both remarried, but their significant others had abandoned them, right?
That's
And then
so awful.
yes, and so Tony was like, but when you think about it now, when from a spiritual or religious point of view, your parents are both in heaven and they're looking down and smiling. And I said, Tony, I think you're going somewhere with this. And then, but he was like, Eve, but you have a fascinating story as well. Look at your life. And I said, Tony, you know what? Let's think about the lessons that I learned from my mother and see how I could write not a self-help book, but something that I think would be useful that someone would pick up and they would want to hopefully would help them. It's a book. It has themes of forgiveness, betrayal, acceptance, forgiveness with what my dad went through, with the situation we went through with this woman coming in. So it has themes. The themes that I think there's a lot of layers. And so when we started doing a deeper dive into my story, he was like, Eve, I think we're up to something. And then we're gonna take that and turn into a film as well.
Oh my God, that's so exciting. And who do you see? Are you going to play yourself?
I think so. We're still talking about that. But he's got again, Tony is he's got crazy ideas. So I'm just going with the flow and I'm gonna see what happens. But he's got some very wild ideas.
Have you been do you or do you have someone helping you write it, or are you doing it by yourself?
So the book, because it's my story, because it's my journey, I did 150, I've written 150,000 words. And
Wow.
yes, I've done a lot of writing. And so Tony then referred me to someone, Craig, who's an attorney, but he does writing as well. He's a great writer. So we're going to be collaborating on a weekly basis to sort of put together a structure, the plots and all of that. So that's where we are.
Wow. How do you maintain balance with such a diverse career? You have a lot of things going on as well. You are too busy, my friend.
Like
So how do
you,
you
like you.
that's why you and I just kind of like fell in love that first day we met, because it was like she's my sister. Like
I
we have the
know, right?
same we have so
Right.
many similarities in our lives that it's so funny that we relate so well to each other, because we do have so many similarities. But how do you keep balance in your life? Because I know you do your yoga and your meditation, but what else is it that you do to keep balance and bliss, flowing through your life?
Oh, that's a great question. So besides the yoga, exercise, daily meditation, I'm very spiritual. I think sometimes and I have to put this out there, people would expect that, oh, she's a little, I think I dress a certain way because I'm not going to have a body forever. As you get older, the body starts changing. So my parents are no longer alive. I can choose to wear what I want to wear at this point in time in my career. Some people called my dressing a little too bold. I am someone who knows how to adapt. If I'm going into a culture or an environment where I have to be buttoned up, I'll dress in a certain way. I'm not out there because I'm seeking attention. That's not who I am. I think I
Right.
know how to balance it. But going back to your question about exercise, for me, exercise keeps me mentally zen. But secondly, balancing time with my family. I don't talk much about family. I don't, but I do have a very very good relationship with my family members. I have family in the Bay Area. I have family. My brother lives in Minneapolis. He used to live in Boston. Boston is now my adopted home. All of my dad's family, most of his family members are in Boston. So that I went to school in Boston. So Boston is home. So there are family members that I speak to on a daily basis. They keep me mentally grounded, mentally zen. I was speaking to Susan, and she's in Boston, and she was like, Eve, I was like, don't let this get to your head. I'm like, Susan, no. But I maintain those relationships. And then one of my best friends that I've known since I was in high school, Maureen, she lives in the San Francisco Bay Area as well. We don't get to speak as much as we used to, because life, everyone gets busy with life. But I try to maintain those core relationships, right? Because I do have friends in the industry, but it's not the same as people that I've known when I was very young. So those are the people who help keep me mentally balanced.
I love that. We will be right back. I'm Christina Flach, and I'm too busy.
Dr. RC will share extraordinary resources and services that promote educational success, as well as making a difference in the lives of all social workers, as well as the lives of children, adolescents, and teens of today. She will have open discussions addressing many of the issues that we face about our youth and how being employed in the uniquely skilled profession of social work for over 18 years has taught invaluable lessons through her personal experiences. She will also provide real-life facts, examples, and personal stories that will confirm that why serving as a child advocate is extremely beneficial when addressing the needs of the whole child. Listen live to Dare to Soar, Saturdays, 10 a.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network, and TuneIn Radio as Dr. RC will provide thought-provoking information that will empower, encourage, and strengthen students, families, and communities across our nation. You can also visit her at soarwithkatie.com. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
I'm Christina Flach, and I am back with my favorite, Eve Richards.
And there are a lot of folks out there who said you're not going to make it. I don't know what success means. We all define success differently. But my message is just keep moving forward, keep forging ahead, even when you're facing adversity, and surround yourselves with positive people. I surround myself with people who uplift me. Surround yourselves with people who make you a better person. Surround yourselves with people who are smarter than you because they make you a better person and they challenge you to want to grow. And I think those are my key messages that I would share is even if you're going through adversity, never ever ever give up. Have a mentor, have someone that you can, buddy with who can help you if you're starting a business. It might be difficult, but I think finding those commonalities with other individuals would help.
I love that. And I totally agree with you. Where is your happy place?
So my happy place in terms of like where I love to visit
Yeah.
or
Where do you love to visit? Are you a warm or a cold vacation person? Or is there somewhere on the planet that you get there and you just exhale and feel like, oh, I'm home?
New
Like, where does
Zealand.
your soul live? Oh, New
New
Zealand.
Zealand. I love New Zealand. New Zealand. There's something about New Zealand for me that just rejuvenates my energy, makes me feel alive. And obviously, I love tropical. I love Hawaii as well. I love going to Hawaii. I'll tell you a funny story. There are days when I'm not in LA, but when I'm home in LA and it's raining or the weather is not very nice, and I find myself being a little bit like, oh my gosh, the motivation to wake up. So I love warm weathers because they help keep me motivated.
I'm exactly the same. I do not like being cold at all. What is your favorite quote or what is your motto?
So I had an article, thanks to the Hollywood magazine, and they asked me this question. One of the quotes that I actually shared with them, um, success, I was something from Jonathan Winters, where I it took me, the world might not catch up in terms of trying to understand my journey, but I went out and I found success on my own. I like that quote because it just reminds me of the resilience to keep moving even when the road seems difficult. And then another one that I liked as well, I think it was from Coco Chanel, about true beauty in a woman. I think I remember a few years ago, this friend of mine had said, Eve, as you get older, whether you're 30 or whatever age you are, you become more beautiful because you become wiser. And beauty for me is not based on the way a person looks. I think beauty, people look at beauty, and it means different for different people. So those quotes for me are so relevant to my journey.
I love that. How do you spoil yourself?
I love to do facials. I think it's so important to do facials. I take very good care of my skin. And so getting facials, but I love to shop. I'm a shopaholic. When I'm going through a bad day, I'm serious, like when I'm shopping. And it doesn't necessarily mean I'm buying something
No,
expensive,
it's
but
just looking around. I mean, isn't it amazing how you can go shopping and the day flies by? It's
it's
just,
yeah, my therapy. And I don't even have
yeah,
to shop even online. I have some favorite online shop. I love shoes. I love shoes. So there are some favorite places online that I'm like, okay, I'm having a bad day. I think I need a new pair of shoes or something. But facials is like what keeps me like, because I know it's so important to keep the face like healthy.
yes, definitely. What do you do when your day isn't flowing? Is it shopping or is there something else that you do? I mean, is there days that you're in your office and you're just like, okay, today just sucks. I need to do something else. What do you do?
That's a very good. And trust me, I have those days all the
Oh, we
time.
all do. We all have them.
I wake up and I'm like, okay, Eve, I'm just, no matter what I do, I've done the exercise, but the energy is not flowing right. I just kind of let it go, right? And
Hmm.
there are times I have some, like my friend up in the Bay Area, I'll call her up or I'll call, Susan, my family, and just talking to them would help me keep me mentally zen because it happens all the time when, or I did an audition, I did this and I didn't get it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sad. But it's the part of the journey that I've just got to find like, okay, Eve, just let it go. Sometimes it takes 5 hours, it takes a whole day before I snap out of it. And there are times that it snaps out within a few minutes. So I just kind of
Right.
let it. I've done the exercising and the stretching and all of that, and I'm still feeling like, I'm like, you know what, Eve, I'm human. Just let it go. keep away from social media, and it's something that I seriously try to avoid as well.
No, definitely. What's your dream project? Film, TV, writing your book? What is it, right? What would be your dream project to work on?
Wow, that's a good one. So there's quite a few things. Like, I think the goal would be to work with a director, like a bigger director, Christopher Nolan and Steven Spielberg, one of those directors, right, to take my career to the next level. So I don't necessarily want to say I have a dream project, but I think it's having that bigger exposure. And I think I'm working on it. I've got a few things that I'm trying to work on to see if it could take me to the next level. That's what we all hope for. I think whether in business or in acting is to get acting again, it's about you can continue doing the work, but you want that bigger exposure.
What have I forgot? What have I failed to ask you today that you'd like to share?
Oh my gosh, I think you asked me all the questions. Although there's nothing. I mean, I'm an open book. I love like a lot of different people. We're approaching a favorite time of the year. Oh, my birthday is coming up in a few weeks this month. And then
Yes, that's right. We share a birthday month.
when is yours?
I'm the 13th and you're
February 26th.
that's right. You're the same as my mother.
Oh my
Oh, you're a
goodness.
Pisces. You're a
I'm
Pisces, right?
Pisces. So your
Yes.
birth is yours is the day before Valentine's. What are you doing?
Yes. On my birthday, I'm working with Zach Posen on my birthday.
Fun in San
Yes.
Francisco, or where are you gonna
Yes,
be?
he's in San Francisco. He's a designer and he's now
Oh, I
head of
that's
creative at all of Gap and Banana, all the Gap brands. So he's a new client that I've gotten the last year, and so I'm excited to spend my birthday with Zach.
I thought he lived in New York. I didn't know he lived
He
in San
does.
Francisco.
He commutes. So his husband's in New York, and they have a home here in San Francisco, and so he goes back and forth.
Are you gonna have dinner with him, or you're having dinner with?
I don't know what I'm going to do yet. My person is up in Alaska, so I'm not going to be with him and my
Wait,
kids. I don't know. Maybe I'll be with my sons. I don't know what I'm going to be doing.
is
It will
that
be a surprise.
he lives in
No,
Alaska?
he's just up there for doing some coaching up there and doing some work for a bit. So I was up there last week, and so I will go back up there and see him
I gotta hear more.
after. Oh, we'll do that off camera.
I know, right?
He's very private. He would die.
Oh, it's gotta. I mean,
I usually call him he who shall be nameless.
someone said to me, "So Eve, tell me something. Do you have kids?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, my life is this. This is me. Just Eve, Eve, Eve. Like he was
Yeah.
like, what do you want to share about significant? I'm like, there's nothing to share. It's just Eve. Focus on me, and that's as far as it goes.
That's
So
what he would prefer, I say.
I think
But you
that's
know
great.
what? I think having love, I mean, to me, it's so funny. My son Nikolai said this to me once. He just said, "Mom," he was talking about everyone in my family, my kids and his dad, and I said he was saying, "Oh, this one's this and this one's this," and I said, "Oh my God, what am I?" And he goes, "You?" He goes, "Mom, you just ooze love," and I'm like, Nikolai, that is like the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. So,
Oh,
and I think you're the same. I think you ooze
thank,
love, and I think
thank.
I think everyone should aspire to oozing love.
I that's what I think that when I think about what people we went through, folks in LA last month, it was horrible. I had been
Awful.
traveling. And I have family members who lived in Pacific Palisades and they lost their homes. I wasn't impacted, but in a way, it impacted me mentally because I live alone. It was so challenging. I went through a very, very difficult time. And I got very, very, I don't care if I share this on, but I got really, really sick and I went to the doctors. It was scary. But those are things that a person goes through and people never know that, like, because that's what happens behind the scenes, right? But I'm just grateful for where I am. I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for the opportunities I have coming my way. And I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful we got to connect.
Oh, I'm
And
so grateful for you, Eve. You are just such a beautiful soul. I'm so grateful you're my friend, and thank you for being on today. I want to thank Alex, my producer in New York. I want to thank Avery and Maya, my assistants, and he who shall be nameless. Sorry, buddy. Love you too. I want to thank everyone for today, and ooze love. That should be the inspiration of the day. So thank you so much, and I will see you next week. I'm Christina Flach, and I'm too busy.
This has been I'm Too Busy with host Christina Flach. Tune in each week as Christina approaches the concept of success holistically, recognizing that achievement is not solely measured by financial triumphs, but also by maintaining a healthy work-life balance and focusing on self-care. Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave TV network, powered by B2 Studios.